the time. Your gateway to the world. AFR. American Freedom Radio. Give it to them.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
All right, good evening, everyone, and happy Thursday. It is May 2, 2013, and hope you are having a great day and had a lovely week. I sure missed you all, but tonight we are going to grace the airwaves with the Sick Show. Good one. So, Toby and I both are feeling, we feel great. I don't want to say we're feeling down or anything, but many of you know that I've kind of been in bed processing emotions. I wrote a blog earlier about how to catch a cold. And anyways, we decided we should just turn that into a topic. I was going to turn the show over to Tobias and give myself some rest. And then we ended up talking and we're laughing at each other, coughing and sneezing and hawking logies at one another. And I certainly learned a lot during this transformation. And Tobias said, Christie, are you ready to get real and do real radio and not pretend you're happy and feeling great? I mean, can you cough and sneeze and hawk logies on the air? And that was it. I was sold. So, yeah, I would never pass up the opportunity to hawk a logie at Tobias's forehead. So, yeah.
Wait, let me get the
I'm not even going to mute it when I cough. That's how real we're going to get tonight.
Everybody's going to love this. Wait, let me get the pieces of the Kleenex off my microphone. Hang on a second.
Oh, man. Oh.
Here we go. So, yeah.
How you doing, Toby?
I think better than you, but, for the last couple of weeks, yeah, same thing, lots of lung stuff, allergy stuff. I went off, I take this herbal allergy stuff, hawthorn, and I don't even know what else is in it, and it works, but I can tell it even if it's herbal, so what? You can have a very strong mixture of herbs, right, that can not be so healthy for you.
Yeah.
Just because it's herbs, there's killing potions made of herbs, so just because it's herbs doesn't mean it's all good, right? So I wanted to stop taking that. I could tell I've done enough. I could tell it was actually affecting my heart a little bit. I could just feel in the energetic field of my heart. I feel a dryness in my heart. Maybe people can relate to that. You can feel sort of my heart's not feeling warm and loving. I felt a dryness kind of, and so I said, I don't want to take that anymore. But anyway, so yeah, it's a couple of weeks. I've had stuff going on. I got a little bit off and on each day, but, I'm functioning. There's also a place where when you have enough energy, it's like Keith Richards says, I can have a 105-degree flu, but if I can hit the first 3 strummings on the guitar, I'm healed. If I get me on stage, if I make it past the first 3 strumming on the guitar, I'm good. So I've been kind of functioning like that a little bit, too. Which you can. But there's times when you really need to do what you're doing. You need to just go, hey, that's it. I'm not available. I need to be cocooning and taking care of myself. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's exactly what's been going on for me, too. I've been playing with going, I know I'm overextending myself a little bit here, and I'm playing with doing it consciously a bit. Like, okay, I can tell, and here, what's the repercussion? Okay, I can feel that fluid and sitting in my lungs, right, in my bronchial tubes. Okay, and then there's no rules, but there's cause and effect. Hear that one? There's no rules. There are. You can make up rules. All rules are made up. But there is cause and effect that you can't get around. Yeah. The sun shines sun's rays and X-rays and gammas, and it has a certain effect on the planet. So there is cause and effect. But there are no rules that are the end-all, be-all, the law, whether that's in health or anything else. And we're going to talk about some of it tonight, about how our bodies process energies. The root of it, the first thing that started in 1965, somebody had we realized the word disease spells dis-ease. It was like the first time in our lockdown, unless you were a crazy artist like Oscar Wilde or Allen Ginsberg or something, the first time in our collective consciousness that we realized there were hints and messages in the written language. The angels, the lords of language, have hidden things in there to kind of try to help us. It's a spell we're under, which is why you learn to spell and write and read, because it spells you. It controls you a certain way. They are symbols. Whenever someone says, "Oh, I don't worship any graven images," I go, do you read?
Never mind, I'll mute. I don't think I can go the whole show without muting.
I know. So, when people say we are a step removed with language. Language is symbolic. Anyway, I was just joking about it. For some people say, "Well, I worship God directly." I go, "Do you read books?" Well, you're worshiping those little black symbols on the page. You're using symbols. Imagery and symbols. Anyway, so the first time we realized that in our collective was dis-ease. The word dis-ease, meaning not at ease, obviously. When we are at ease, when the peace is with us, when the peace that passeth all understanding is with us, then we're also healthy. When we're full, God doesn't get the flu. How's that? Yeah. Source doesn't get the flu. Not in the way we think.
Yeah, they're called tornadoes, volcanoes, hurricanes.
But Source, and the Tao, the Source God, he really enjoys it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a judgment on, now I'm expectorating. Ooh, what does that mean? That means spitting. Now I'm expectorating. Right? God doesn't judge it. Source doesn't judge it. Watch your dog throw up. They had no pain. They were like, that was interesting. Shall I eat it or not? I know. It's great. Or the other dogs come up and go, what did you throw up? Is it edible? Right? Because they have no judgment on it. They have no judgment on it. But tonight we're going to talk about how the body, the cells, our energetic systems, the lymph system, the blood, your sinuses, your mucus, your nervous system, how it processes energy, and what is disease, what we've labeled and termed disease. It's the label. It's just 7 little letters that we put on a white, or if you're, parchment or off-white or ivory white page that you pick at the publishers when you used to read books. Big deal. It's just a word. Disease is a concept. Disease is a concept. Feel that. Your dog has no disease concept. It has feeling certain states. It feels certain. It will yelp. But it doesn't have a concept of, I'm sick. You can't get your dog to go, I'm sick. They don't. They have, I'm quiet now. I don't want you to bother me. I need to sleep. I'm feeling certain energies go through me. Yeah. So we're going to talk about this tonight. What is disease? Why do we get yellow fever? Why do we get the flu? What's this whole thing? What's the chicken pox? What are the measles? What's multiple sclerosis? What's Alzheimer's? What's Lou Gehrig's disease? What's XYZ syndrome? What's chronic fatigue syndrome? What are all these? Who invented the idea of disease? Who came up with this?
Yeah.
Everything is an invented concept. Feel that statement. Everything in the creation is a consciousness, is an idea of consciousness. Somebody came up with the idea of disease. And individually, somebody or something, some consciousness came up with the idea of leprosy. That's about the worst one you could go for, right? Cholera. Cholera, I think, is like horrible, right? It just turns your internal organs into mush and you just die. Malaria, there's a good one, can kind of torture you for years. It'll flare back up. Sickle cell anemia. Isn't this positive? Don't you guys want to tune into a show by Deepak Chopra by now, the 7 Principles of Success?
Yeah, screw it. I'm out of here. I don't want to listen to a bunch of sickos talking about being sick.
I want to avoid my sickness at all costs. I want to take massive pills. Just give me a whole bottle of NyQuil right now. I just want to sedate myself. Never mind that it says it'll destroy my liver. I don't care. I want to be sedated. Yes,
let's suppress those emotions even further.
The Ramones. The St. Joey Ramone. I want to be sedated. Yeah. That's what we're doing as a culture. Look, think about it. We're sedating ourselves by every possible means. It's almost like I'm not picking on just America. It's all over the planet. It's like we're trying to find every possible way to sedate ourselves.
It's fun.
Yeah. I just want to go numb. I don't want to feel it, right? I want to be sedated. The Ramones, they're freaking prophets. I want to be sedated. Yeah, you do. Get real. You want to be sedated. Because, like St. Jim Morrison said, people say feelings are beautiful. And he says, no, they're not. Feelings hurt like hell. Because we have concepts about good and bad feelings. So, disease, maybe, just a little thought loop here, is because we're not flowing naturally with our energies. It's kind of like, try, like slide, those slip and slides where you like put water down on the slide and you run and you jump on it and slide on your lawn, right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine setting one of those up that's made of like number 10 sandpaper. Yoo-hoo! You run, right? You're going to rub your... That's what, when you resist the flow of your energies in your body and your emotions, you're trying to slide on sandpaper. And that's normal today. Normal to resist. We have made resistance normal.
Yeah.
Every child learns that you better swallow that big lump in your throat. You can't let it out and start boo-hooing. You got to swallow it, repress it, deny it, push it back down. And then as adults, we sedate it. We have a multi-billion-dollar industry of sedating our feelings. It's called the pharmaceutical industry. How's that working for us? It's not working for us. So, anyway, the resistance to energy, yeah. Why? I'm asking questions here today. Who came up with the concept of disease? Louis Pasteur? Where we get the name pasteurized from? Now we must pasteurize milk, which means boil the crap out of it, so you make sure you coagulate things you shouldn't, so it's completely unnatural and will clog your sinuses unbelievably. Milk does a body good. Yeah, no. Pasteurized milk, altered, denatured milk, which means the proteins, it's like when you put flame to plastic, you know how it curls up? Right?
Yeah.
Well, when you heat milk, or cook anything really, you're denaturing the proteins. That means you're making them unnatural. You're denaturing them. And they curl up into shapes that your body goes, because your body's made either by God or by evolution. Doesn't matter what you believe in. 5 billion years of evolution or whatever, intelligent design, both can go together, by the way. Your body is used to natural things. You're not made. Last time I checked, chimpanzees don't have open fires where they cook meat. Last time I checked, the gorillas, you know, they don't they don't have an iron skillet where they're cooking their vegetables in it in coconut oil. They're not doing that. Our bodies are not designed to eat denatured proteins. Denatured proteins is when you heat them. Now, I'm being radical. Do I still eat cooked food? Yes, I do. But I'm just pointing out that's our bodies are designed for a certain system, and in that system it tends to function better. Now, you can transcend all that. Yes, and you can just enjoy yourself, sure. But until you are a master of your energies, you cannot. The law applies to you as long as you are under the law, in the sense, a Babaji, a Christ, a Jesus, a certain masters, Buddhas, they can, by the way, they don't eat. They don't eat. And when you notice on the spiritual path, you'll start eating less.
Yeah.
Why? Because there is food you know not of, Jesus says to his disciples. I have food. They're like, aren't you hungry? We're starved, man. We're eating fish and bread and cheese and yogurt and, you know, grapes. Aren't you hungry? And he says, I have food you don't know about. So anyway, we're going to talk about how the body processes energy.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifilan brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifilan. There's nothing else like Modifilan. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifilan banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back to the Sick Show, otherwise or formerly known as Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. We are discussing why do we get sick? How does the body process energies? What are colds, allergies, flus, diseases the human bodies get, etc. And as we shared with you in the first segment, this is real radio, so we might hawk a logie or two, just get some extra Kleenex, and I'm going to try not to mute all my coughs since we're just kind of getting real here, but anyways, Tobias, of course, good job. You
I forgot to blow my nose
rip
again.
Too.
I forgot to blow my nose.
So,
feel it, folks. We're not discussing. We're just disgusting. That's all.
So, if you're just making it here, I've noticed a few new people just showing up in the chat just to kind of catch you up on what we're discussing here tonight. And again, where I've been, I was in bed nursing some old wounds and, kind of processing a lot of old, stuck, suppressed, repressed, dark emotions that we all want to pretend we don't have. And, of course, the result of that, as we're discussing right now, is what we refer to as illness or dis-ease or getting sick. And it's so funny. Tara just popped into the chat, and she was the last caller I had on the last show where I was discussing just this, how emotions correlate with disease, and there I was suppressing my own emotions, and I knew last week. I mean, for those of you in the Facebook group, when Leah canceled the show, I'm like, I'm kind of feeling run down. I should take some time off too, but I didn't. I let my ego and my badass warrior, I'm better than this, ego complex get in the way, and decided, well, I'm just going to keep forging on through. Besides, like what Tobias said, those emotions suck, and I just want to be sedated, which of course I didn't. I actually felt all of it. I'm not into drugs or, any of that crap. So I sat there and felt it and asked, what is it? Because honestly, I didn't know. I knew that I was busy. I knew that, something was going to catch up with me, but I didn't really know that I was that much in denial of certain emotions that I discussed in a blog I wrote today called How to Catch a Cold. And if you haven't read it, I'll just tell it to you, well, at least the basics of it. We don't catch any of these things. We don't catch a cold. We don't catch a flu. We don't catch cancer or MS or any of these things. We earn them. We earn them by our choices, whether it's how we treat our bodies through food, through emotions, etc. But all disease starts on an energy level. And so I think it's actually a wonderful opportunity for me to have gone through this week. And be able to do the show here with you, Tobias, just discussing it, because I know we all ignore it. We're just like, oh, well, it's cold. Oh, did you catch a cold? Well, yeah, technically, but when you actually look at what's behind it, a cold is just basically a list of a set of symptoms, but each of these symptoms are something that manifest because of what we are suppressing inside. So, anyways, hi, my name is Christie, and I suppress shit. So there you go.
I'm a human being. Yeah, what if, and like I was saying in the last segment, what if we don't bring it back to animals? They don't suffer the way we do. They will feel pain, of course. But we project a lot of it. In other words, they feel it as pure sensation. Yes, there's pain, I yelp, or that is definitely hurting, We can program certain domesticated animals with some human emotions. But natural wild animals, they experience this as states of energy. And let's be real here. Even humans, when we get into mortal situations where we're in life-threatening situations, we don't feel that much pain. It's sort of like there's a shock thing that goes in, and a lot of times, if you're going to die, you've basically started to check out anyway energetically, so you don't feel the pain that others may project on it. There's more. What I'm saying is here, ask what's real, not what's programmed into us. Yes. In other words, disease, like I said, someone came up with a concept of diseases. Now, I know people are going to argue with me. We have the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, Center for Disease Control. We've created a giant industry out of disease. The motivation is not to keep people healthy, because you don't make money with healthy people. There used to be, I don't think they do it anymore, but there were times in ancient China or in older China, it's not even ancient, just a while ago, where your physician would be paid a certain amount every year, and every day you were not healthy, you would take money away from him. He would have to give you money back. Now, her motivation is going to be to keep you healthy, right? That's a different motivation than our current healthcare, meaning disease-promoting system, See, we don't have a healthcare system. We have a disease-creating system.
Yeah.
It gets paid on disease. It loses money when you're healthy. Right? If the hospitals have to make, the payments. Basic doctors get $250,000 a year. You got to pay those guys, and you got to pay liability insurance lawsuits, and you got to pay giant, heating and cooling bills, and buy the latest MRI technology, and blah blah blah. You got to pay for all that. You got to get someone in there and run all the tests on them so you can justify having bought that fancy new, dialysis 4000 machine that you just came up with last year by some retired doctor who invented it and can charge through the yin-yang, whatever. It's a horrible upside-down system. It is motivated by keeping people sick. So we need to invent new diseases. We need to invent new diseases. And it gets to
then
the
we
point
feel
where
special when we have a cool label, especially the ones that, most people can't pronounce.
Yeah. So I was doing this the other day with somebody. I was like, yes, I have Orska-Bartka syndrome. It's a very rare syndrome. It's only me and 5 other people in the whole world that have this syndrome. I'm very special. Can you feel the ego there? See, any attention is good attention for the ego. Any publicity is good publicity. Any energy attention is good for the ego. So if you get negative attention, the ego doesn't care. It's feeding off that energy. So if you can create victim systems, victimhood, and special syndrome diseases that are very rare, the ego loves it. My daughter, this is, if you've never heard of this, the Munchausen syndrome that some women have. I mean, this is crazy, but you look it up. It's a real recognized syndrome, okay? This is how crazy our current culture is. Where women will actually hurt their own young children, babies to whatever. They will hurt them so that they can take them to the emergency room at the hospital and get attention from doctors and nurses. It's recognized as a symptom. At first, people couldn't believe this, and then they used to put in closed-circuit cameras, and they would catch the mother smothering. See, there it is. Smother, mother, mother, smother, mother, smother. Hey, that's a good name for a song, Mother Smother. Kind of like Twisted Sister, but different, Mother Smother. I'm not pulling punches for that. See, we should all worship Mother. No, we shouldn't. You should worship and honor healthy mother, but not smother mother.
Yeah.
Just like
mothers give kids asthma.
Exactly. They do. They literally give kids asthma. I'll tell you this. Joy, my partner, the day she moved out of the house when she was 18, her asthma vanished instantly.
Yeah. Mine. In and out of the emergency room my whole life growing up, and it wasn't until I got away that I could finally breathe, and my asthma just miraculously went away.
Yes, and Dr. Dinkeldorfer says, well, that's just a spontaneous remission. It happens occasionally. It has nothing to do with the statistics that are off the chart, the fact that when kids get away from smothering mothers, that their asthma goes away. We don't want to look at that because of the implications of what that could mean.
The statistics are complete lies to just, it's like Mark Twain's quote about statisticians. Liars figure and figures lie. Mark Twain. Liars figure and figures lie. If you can support anything you want with statistics, and, that's how they bamboozle us with all the commercials and so forth. So we're talking about the disease-creating system. So living in this culture, we are affected by it. And because we're born into it, our genetics and our cells and so forth, and our diet and all that. So we're talking about the problem right now. We'll talk about solutions here for the second hour, too. But we're just exposing it a little bit here now. Come on, isn't that amazing? The day my girlfriend Joy moved out of the house, her mother, who was the most caring mother of all, but when her own mother was dying of cancer at the end of her life, even Joy had to admit, my mother was disappointed that her cancer treatment was going so well. Because then she couldn't go to church and get all that sympathy. I remember when I was 25 years old, a lady comes to the door. I'm doing some survey or something, or we were selling solar systems or something, and to our neighbors, and she says, "Oh, my husband's dying of cancer." And I had just recently studied these cancer treatments, Jason Winter's tea at the time, where he healed himself of this intense throat cancer around his esophagus by mixing ginger and chaparral and one other herb, and it totally healed him. And as soon as I started telling her about this magic tea, she went all angry, belligerent, and disappointed. She wanted her husband to have cancer so she could enjoy the drama. Huge wake-up call for me to realize people don't want to get healed all the time. And even when they think they want to get healed, parts of them is enjoying the attention. There's all kinds of subterranean games going on. And until we are able to see through that, it's a hopeless cause. So this whole disease system is really topsy-turvy, you know. What if people got paid? What if and chiropractor is a step in the right direction, osteopaths, chiropractors, and then naturopaths. Of course, we're coming out of that whole old system, the disease system. But people that are still addicted to it, we're going to have to live and let live and live and let die. Live and let die. Shake the dust from your feet. Walk away. Let them die. Let them enjoy it. That woman I met when I was 25, I couldn't believe. I'm shocked. You don't want to heal your husband? Like, she couldn't say that. But her energy, her denial was so much enjoying it, and she probably wanted to get rid of him anyway. But they can't openly say that. That's denial energy, denial spirit. It's all that false front that says, I want healing, but really I want to die. That's why masters will feel into a soul, and they completely respect the freedom and the free will and the self-choice of that soul. And on the surface, the socially correct thing is to go, of course we're trying everything possible to save them. We're going to have them on the massive drain, all the tax. Let's drain $5 million out of the taxpayer trough to keep my mom alive for an extra 90 days when she wants to die. All out of suppression, denial, and guilt. It's a screwed up, horrible, disease-creating system. There's the music. So I guess we'll be back in a little bit. Christie's probably expectorating somewhere close to the bathroom, but we will be back. All right.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Yo, what's up? Check this out. The voice of the revolution. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
Are you still there, Christie?
Well, for now I am.
For now you are, yeah.
I think my computer caught some, I don't know, a cold or something.
Right. So this was interesting. I really like being able to tell the deeper truth about the whole crisscrossing cross currents of motivation of, really, the old allopathic system is motivated by people being sick. There's a movie out there called Running with Scissors that exemplifies it very well in the psychiatric community, where this just psychotic psychiatrist wants to find every syndrome possible in his patients and actually take over their lives, just like the guy who did it to Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys, his psychiatrist, or the guy who did it to Michael Jackson's sister LaToya, these managers or whatever. But doctors will do it too. One of my good friends said that after he had an episode of breakdown living in L.A., said the first psychiatrist they went to said, "You're very, very, very sick. This is going to take a lot of work and a lot of time." It's like programming you that you're very, very sick. Why? Because it's a paycheck. It's a syndrome. You're a lab rat to that kind of energy. So when you're around health care providers, make sure you feel the behind-the-scenes motivation. Do they feel good to you? Do they want you to get healthier? Or look into yourself. You can't have a Mother Teresa without there being poor people.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa can never get the Nobel Prize, which one, the Peace Prize? I don't even know. Humanitarian Prize? Unless there's
probably
poor
not a
people.
Peace Prize, because I think most of them have to kill a bunch of people first
to get the Peace Prize. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, isn't that amazing? To President Obama, we give the Peace Prize when he ups the attacks in Iraq. What? I don't know. It's curious or incurious, or black is white and white is black, down is up and up is down. Yes. I know, it's crazy. But feel the motivation, man. As an awakening soul, feel the motivation. By the way, so Christie and I are also going to be honest with... we want to talk here a little bit about, at the top of the hour, about what I deal with disease, kidney stones, this, that, and the other. When there's stuff that comes at you, how you can deal with it energetically from a soul perspective, from a spirit perspective, from a God perspective. Miracles, quote unquote, there's no such thing, by the way. Everything is natural. There's nothing supernatural. When we start calling nature supernatural, that shows how fallen we are. When we start calling nature supernatural, that shows how removed from that which is natural we are. It is natural for you to heal very easily. It is natural for you to be able to heal broken bones automatically. Our little puppy, Gabby, she's 6 months old now. 2 weeks ago, she loses the main fangs that a dog has, those huge canine incisors, right? The big ones, if they, curl their lip up. She lost all 4 of them, and now she has huge ones, almost there overnight. It's like her teeth, her baby teeth came out, and her new full-grown doggy teeth are coming in almost instantly. It makes no sense how fast they're coming in.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's all energy. We create it instantly anyway. It's just that us humans, see, if we look at it, it has to slow down because we can't believe it can go that fast. People do miraculous healings all the time. They're not miraculous. They do natural, instant, overnight healings all the time. It's happening right now on Earth. Tap into the morphic field right now. There's a vibrating, humming morphic field of instant healing, instant recreation, coalescing of photonic energies, meaning subatomic energies that are just pure energy spinning anyway, coalescing back into what you call health. Now, it's not always right to instantly heal, because on our soul's journey in the current condition, there's something we're learning from our conditions.
Yeah, that's the thing with instant healings, whether it's, a master that laid their hands on you or surgery where you have the disease cut out. If the emotions and such are not changed or adjusted, you're going to end up with the exact same illness.
Yes, it's whack-a-mole. I call it whack-a-mole healthcare. You know, you whack it down over there and then pops up elsewhere. Yes, no sexual innuendos, please. We're too sick to deal with that. It's not sexual. Right.
Yeah, no joking about today.
So feel this. I feel behind the scenes. This person's, what are they getting out of it? What are the unintended consequences or the unseen benefits of being sick? It's socially appropriate to die of cancer in our current culture.
Oh, yeah.
It is not socially appropriate in our current government and corporate cultures and work ethic. It is not socially appropriate to just relax and enjoy life.
Yeah.
It's socially
On the other hand, I mean, it's socially acceptable to kill yourself through whatever means, call it cancer, alcoholism, whatever, but it's not socially appropriate or accepted to talk about your emotions and be honest and say, look, I want to die. That's not okay. Yet the simple act of being able to talk about that and express these emotions freely is what's going to help you heal that, so you don't have to have the cancer or, whatever type of drug addiction there is and, any other disease you want to name.
That's right. I totally agree. If you cannot express your love, then you get inverted inverted love disease, which is called heart disease. See, if it can't be expressed, the word expressed, pressed out of the exited out of your heart. If you can't express, do we have trouble expressing love on this planet? Yes, you do. Go to any store anywhere on the planet right now and go to the Hallmark card aisle, and you'll watch how uncomfortable the people are there trying to buy some card about emotions.
Yeah. So instead of being honest, I have a problem accepting love, giving love, receiving love, sharing love, my heart hurts. You can't call it that. You just have to call it heart disease and take a pill.
Yeah. Feel this. You know how, it's like if you go to the porn shop, I've never been, but, there was a time in my life I would go to these porns, like the porn theaters or whatever, because I judged it. I was Mr. Lily White Yogi, and I said, okay, I don't want to feel this. So I'm there. Plus, I enjoyed certain stuff, of course, wanted to check out types of movies, this and that and there. Anyway, people at the porn store, it's a weird feeling. You're like, you feel very guilty. It's like church people catching each other at the casino gambling or something, right? Well, it's the same at the Hallmark card store. You're all standing around kind of going, guys standing in the hall trying to pick out cards for their wives or girlfriends. They're uncomfortable as hell. And they do not want to look each other in the eye or talk to each other. So what does that tell us? We feel as ashamed about emotions as we do about our repressed sexuality. Our current culture is ashamed. We've made it completely shamed to have feelings. Yeah. And we think we're going to function normally and healthy?
Yeah, it's called bipolar.
And autism.
Yeah.
So then the new souls that come in are going to say, hell no. We will not shut down the energy, and it will express however it needs to. Autism, bipolar, this, that, and the other, dyslexia, whatever, because the soul says, I am no longer going to be constrained in those boxes. Right. So feel this. If you can't express, which means to push out, or to allow it to flow out, outside the perimeter, exit. If you can't express love, you get that energy gets inverted and compressed and stuck. It's like root bound. If you take a big tree and root bound it gets gnarly, right? It's called bonsai trees. Okay, you can think it's beautiful, but trees in general, plants, root bound is not a good thing. Set it free. Well, heart bound means you get heart disease. The only reason there's heart disease is because we don't know how to express our hearts to each other. The only reason there's liver cancer is because we don't know how to healthily move our anger. The only reason there's kidney disease, kidney cancer, is because we don't know how to surface our fear, our worry, anxiety in a way that it's okay. Every teacher tries to come and tell us, confess your sins one unto the other. Be open and honest with exactly what you feel. Be transparent. you know?
Definitely. Yeah. We are talking some hard truths here. We should have put a disclaimer up before we began the show that this show is for people interested in real healing and taking responsibility for it, because chances are if you still want to blame, some disease label or whatever, we're probably going to piss you off. But if we do, that's a good thing, and that's the first place that you need to look. But it is that time. We are taking a short break here. Stay tuned. Tobias, Lars, and Christie Aphrodite here on SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right. Welcome back. Top of the second hour here tonight on the Sick Show, formerly known as Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. And we're talking about why do we get sick? How does the body process energies? And all sorts of fun topics that most of us don't really want to hear about and accept. But I appreciate that you all are here tonight. And if you would like to join our beautiful little soul family in the chat, that's at SoulJourneysRadio.com, and I guess we're kind of doing a loose version here of episode 3, the Christie and Tobias show. Tobias is a soul counselor or personal awakening coach. His website is soulcounseling.com, or you can go to courseofawakening.com, and Tobias has really been instrumental in my growth and my healing process, because I used to look at it like it was all just physical, what you eat or how much exercise you get, or does it have the right label? Does it say organic? Is that the right drug? Is that the right herb? And there's definitely so much more. So, Tobias, I just want to thank you for letting me know it's okay to be me. It's okay for all of us to be ourselves and to have these emotions. It's what we do with them, and suppressing them certainly is not the way. So thank you for that. Again, his website is courseofawakening.com or soulcounseling.com. He does personal sessions as well as teleseminars every Sunday, 2 per day. One for us backwards weirdos in the States here, and one for the rest of the world earlier in the day. And here we go. We have a caller on the line, Toby. Would you like to get to our first caller?
Sure, let's see what trouble we can get ourselves into even more.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Piss off next. All right, looks like Nathan, area code 480. Welcome to the show. Do we have a Nathan in the house?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Nathan,
I guess not.
You there? All right.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Or maybe they're just listening. Or it appeared there were some issues with the caller line earlier. But anyways, yeah, we'll try it again if we see another caller.
Right. So Yeah, absolutely. If we don't let our natural energies move, we get energy constipation, and nobody likes constipation. And so, like I was saying before, if we don't let our heart...
pills for that.
Yeah. They work great for a while until they pop up as other problems. Exactly. So if we any of the suppressed energies, the natural flow of the energies will keep us healthy and or healing. See, we call it disease, but it's actually an upgrade sometimes, you know. So you can treat these natural functions, whether it be menopause or a cold or the flu or some, quote, disease, even in this current state we're in, you can treat them as, I am purging something. What is this about? Turn and face the strange. You know, don't run from your shadow, but turn and look at it. Like in your dreams, shamans will teach us, turn and face that which is pursuing you in the dream. Turn and face it. Face it, feel it, free it, you know, and then you can forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
I get that one. Yeah. So, going into it, so with Christie, what she's feeling, what I've been feeling, and I had some clients this week, and in me too, I'm not blaming it on them. See, there's multiple cross currents that can happen too. You can pick the energies up from other people. When you start becoming empathic, or, you know, psychic, which we all are on some levels, you can think it's important to heal people, and I just want to be of service to people, and you can start taking on other people's energies inappropriately. So that's something to watch for, too. So when I'm working with people, I can tell that those certain energies can only invade me if I'm not up to speed, if I'm not fully present, sort of. And we can't do it all the time. If we can just be conscious, be aware of the energy games going on behind the scenes, that's 55% of the whole thing. You know, just start becoming aware of it. So I don't fight it as much as I used to. It's more like, tell me what this is about. Go right into it. So this thing in my head, the allergies around my eyes this week, what's that about? When Christie talked to me earlier today, I was going to do a UFO show today by myself and Christie's, and so we talked, and Christie said, well, it's, you know, we could do about sickness, and so here we are, you know, about disease. And here we are. But you go into the energy, so I can sit and feel here, what's that in my nose right there? What's that in my sinus? What's that tickle? What's that, you know, kind of itching? What's that about? And then feel it just as an energy. It's just a sensation, and feel without resisting it, without being angry at it, without being resentful at it. See, it's when you're resentful, angry, judging at things that you turn it into sandpaper. It doesn't flow anymore, you know. I've had personal experience, direct experience. I know, Christie, you've been around people. You've helped other people heal of things, you know, get through things. And again, Christie and I talked in the break, too. You can become a healer of people, but that's not the right thing. God's source can heal everyone instantly right now of any malady, anything going on. But God's source doesn't do that. Why? Because God doesn't exist and he's a sadomasochistic God. He's a sadist. No, that's not why. Because, again, there's something there for us to see and learn and take our own power back. Become creators, become directors, become source in our own lives. And if something is instantly healed, it's sort of like someone who blows their money, totally goes bankrupt. Well, you know, here's the $500,000, son. Yeah, I'll help you get the business started. The son blows all of it, comes back for more. Daddy keeps giving it to him. He keeps blowing the money. He's not learning anything. So at some point, that son needs to hit some rock bottom. You know, he's smoking crack with his girlfriend in an apartment. Daddy says, I'm not paying for your apartment anymore.
Yeah?
That's cruel. No, it's not. It's perfect. So God's source of the universe knows exactly what we need. It's the same thing as our higher selves and our souls as well. He knows exactly what we need. And sometimes, you know, you need some disease, some sickness in your life to get you to slow down, to get you to feel certain things, to look at certain things. You know, that's how it is. And so I go into it with an interest, and I don't judge it as much. It can become very interesting. Kidney stones one night. I had kidney stones one night. And I saw the possible realities, speaking of multiple realities. Yeah, hospital trip, blah, 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 all that. They break it up with the sound machines and, I got to pee them out and all that. Not that exciting, So I said, okay, I surrender into Source, surrender into God here. Show me any alternate timelines that are possible, God. And I felt this message from my own soul, from God, from the angels working for God, call it whatever you want. If you can surrender and let go at this level, we could do something different. And at that point, I started crying. And my ex-wife, I called her at 2 a.m., and she... I don't know what happened, but there was a lot of emotion. I don't even remember half of it, but I'm crying, feeling all these pent-up, backed-up feelings. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm wearing a WWF championship boxing belt or something, a big thing around my stomach, and my back gets all very warm. It got very warm, but very, not hot, but very warm and soft. And literally, my cells and my body turned back into light. And my kidney stones were dissolved. God basically said, Tobias, if you release and let go, I can work with you. If you hold on tight and clamp down and you won't let me in or let the flow happen, nothing can happen. Those kidney stones were it took about an hour and a half in Earth time. It felt like about 6 minutes in whatever time frame I was in. And I felt all this beautiful heat, and it saved me a trip to the hospital. But I had to let go into it, and I had to see and feel. I had to be willing to see and feel. And like you've heard me say before, people would rather die of cancer or go get shot in the head than actually feel their feelings.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't care anymore. I don't feel sad about that anymore. I used to for about 20 years. I go, God, it's so sad that people are so stubborn. I don't. I'm being cruel right now, according to some people. But I don't. I'm not sad about it. It's perfect. Let the dead bury the dead, the master of peace and love said. What's he talking about? So, and to be compassionate too. It's very scary and hard, and when you're programmed a certain way, you're addicted to being a certain way. You need to die in that body before you can have another shot at it. You can't be reborn in that body. Many people walking the earth right now have no possibility of being reborn the way Master Joshua Ben David or Krishna or Buddha or Yogananda or St. Francis. St. Francis was completely born again. Padre Pio, St. Teresa. Not a Catholic. They're just publicized, Many people walking around there, it's impossible for them. They're so stuck in habits and belief systems. It's not me, it's the evil disease. As long as you believe it's outside of yourself, you're giving your power away to the disease.
Yeah.
So when Christie and I are having this, or she's having it her way and I'm having it mine, I don't resist it as much as I used to. I notice it. And I'm kind of interested and intrigued. This is just a little cold thing, whatever. But what does it represent? To me, it's actually, with the lungs filling up with liquid for me, what that's showing me is the inner world and the outer world. There's something coming that's cleaning out a membrane. The lungs are a very fine membrane that's cleaning out a veil between the worlds. And on the awakening path, you're going to find these pains will percolate through your body, but you will not feel them as a subject, as it's oppressing you. You will notice them more as just sensations. St. Francis used to have open wounds under his cloak, processing energies. Sometimes masters can also process them for their disciples. That's the big thing Jesus did. The whole thing is, I'll process so much of you, quote, your sins, your stuff, that'll give you guys a shot at having a direct relationship with God. That's his business. And that's his ordination to do that with people. I'm not into it right now. I don't want to do that. If God asks me to, I do it. If Spirit asks me to, but that's my own higher self. See, I don't have a separation of my will and thy will anymore. I don't. I mean, I do. I'm still learning some ego stuff in myself that's being purged. But I know, I got my ass spanked enough that I know God's plan, my own higher self, is the same thing as God, my own higher soul. That plan for me is the way to go. My ego's plan for my life leads to inevitable suffering, pain, and destruction. You know? So I'm willing to feel whatever comes at me, you know? It's happening. What choice do you have? It's already happening. What choice do you have? As Eckhart Tolle would say if he was a Jewish guy.
Tobias, you're going to get us in trouble tonight.
Eckhart might be Jewish. Yeah. Hey, I had 2 Jewish girlfriends. I had to sit through those Seder dinners and go through all that stuff. I know it from the inside. Yeah. So, be interested in your disease from an energy point of view. Don't try to explain it away with, be in the body is key. Meet your energies in the body. If you're not in your body, like people who get ankle problems and trip and, what's that telling you? You're not grounded. If you're walking grounded on the earth, I watch people when they come hiking in Arizona. People wear these boots. They're like ski boots practically, hiking boots. They're like up around the ankle and all tight around their ankles. I'm like, how could you possibly feel anything with those clodhoppers on? You know? I don't walk barefoot, but I walk open-toed. Actually, I'm going to start bringing people out on the stones in Sedona on the path to walk barefoot. Because that grounds you, and you start using muscles that you've never used in your feet, and therefore you will re-strengthen your ankles. This whole earthing thing, being in connected, you need to get in your body. There's no healing outside the body. There's no healing going around the body. You cannot do a quintuple heart bypass and hope to have a healthy heart. You cannot bypass the body. You need to. The true enlightenment is through the emotions, through the body, not running from them. You'll only end up in astral hells. You'll end up in astral hells, temporary heavens maybe for you, if you negate your body and your emotions in any way. They need to be uplifted and resurrected. Why do you think your master, Jeshua, resurrected his body? If the body was so bad, wouldn't he just say, oh, good riddance, get rid of that piece of, clod clay? He resurrected it. Every master resurrects their body. Hear that. Every master resurrects their body because the body is nothing but congealed energy. So when your body is detoxing phlegm and itchy eyes or pain in the kidneys or whatever, full-on cancer, Dr. Lorraine Day, full-on grapefruit-sized piece of cancer on top of her heart, right between her boobs. What kind of message do you think that was for her? Wake up your heart. I'm yelling.
Well, I'm glad you can yell. Someone's got to do it. It's that time, everyone. So hang on. We will continue the sick show right after we go blow our nose and do a couple number 2s. Stay tuned.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American.
It's practically narcotic.
Freedom.
Oh, yes. I like it very much.
Radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.
Right, welcome back, and thanks for joining us here tonight, Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It is the Toby and Christie show. We are just talking about illness, sickness, disease, how it manifests in the body, and some of the root causes. And it looks like we have a caller on the line, so we're going to try this again. Let's see, area code 416. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, we have a live one.
Calling from the tip of Atlantis in Canuckistan. How are you?
Yay, well, don't shut the whole thing down again.
Yeah, last time we spoke, the whole network died, and it was, screwed up for 2 weeks or something? Oh, my God. Oh,
good to hear
awesome.
from you, Noelle.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Good. What you got for us? What's going on? What's your reaction?
First of all, I'm honored to speak to the man who's counted to infinity on more than one occasion. How are you doing?
I don't know about that.
Tobias, you nailed something there earlier on. You said turn and face the strange, and Christie can definitely verify this. About 5 or 6 hours ago on Facebook, I put up a status, and it was turn and face the strange. Sure enough, I went out and I got a haircut, and then all of a sudden, I'm told that I got a bald spot, and it's not in your typical location. It's just above where the neck joins, the rest of the head there, obviously. A weird spot, and it's considered something that happens, in times of high stress and all that. And for the past month or so, I've been going through this process of, I guess Christie would call it purging. I just call it vomiting or crapping my drawers. But
and giving birth to a few baby elephants here and there.
Yeah, a couple of baby elephants. I'll be popular in prison after that one, let me tell you. But I'll tell you, all this stuff started. Christie had, what was his name? Larry Babcock, is it? Babcock?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and that's when the network died. But I asked him a question about this Moldavite thing, because I was researching a little bit about crystals and all that stuff, like a wacky ass, So I got all this Moldavite in, and the Moldavite kind of represented a choice I was making. This stuff promises to basically fast-forward your life, get you right to the heart of the matter of whatever it is you want to resolve in your life. And so I signed on. I took the red pill, and boom, what a ride. I don't know if it's the rocks or is it just the act of me reaching out for the rocks, knowing what they could potentially do or what, but the past month has just been absolutely silly. Silly to say the least. And a lot of serendipity, especially with the show and everything. There's been a couple of occasions where I wouldn't be able to listen to the show, and suddenly the show's canceled for that night. And then all of a sudden I find out I'm free, and guess what? The show is actually on tonight. It's weird, lots of weird crap happening, and I don't know, I just wanted to share that,
Beautiful. Synchronicity City. The last few letters of synchronicity is city. Synchronicity City. And that's just a natural state. Our energies are naturally synchronizing. I live in a place now where if I start thinking or something comes to my attention, it starts showing up everywhere, kind of, that thing. Like we were doing roses. I can't get roses to stop happening now. It's kind of like you got to be careful with it, Everyone telling me about their roses, and the world. I saw like there must have been the world's largest rose bush or something, and it looked like a tree. And I'm like, okay, I love you, but I have to do some other things besides roses. So synchronicity, yeah. Just luxuriate and enjoy that, you know. Allow, and anyone listening, you can just say, allow me to recognize the synchronicities in my life. And I had a good friend of mine just say, you know, when all that's happening, all I know is that I'm being guided, guarded, and supported, you know? Yeah. And that's a nice feeling, you know?
It's been a wild ride, but they say when you're on the right path, these synchronicities are dominating your day, you know?
Yeah.
It's been that way for a month, and I'll tell you, I've felt things this past month that I didn't even know were possible. A lot of negative things that I, as you would say, you know, feel it to heal it, and I've definitely felt it. And I'm really thinking that this weird little spontaneous bald spot, alopecia, whatever you want to call it, I think it's a manifestation. I'm calling it an exit wound right now. You know,
that's good.
It's freaky stuff. But the main reason...
And give our bodies a break. Like I wrote a thing years ago called Waking from 1,000-Year Sleep. You know? Yeah. Remember that story, Rip Van Winkle? He sleeps for 100 years or so, or 50 years. Mm-hmm. And we've been asleep as humans. Our emotional bodies, our physical bodies have been made to hold for lifetimes since about 12,500 years ago. Lifetimes of basically no processing of stuff, just holding the crap each lifetime and then dying, you know? Yeah. And so as we start this healing, it's like waking up from 1,000-year sleep. You're going to be stiff. You're going to be jerky. You're going to be a little, you know, feel a little weird. So give your body some space, some leeway, our emotions some leeway. Me and a friend were joking about, get a T-shirt that says, stay back 500 feet. I'm going through a spiritual awakening.
That's a damn good warning for me right now. I'm telling you, I'm fragile. I think I've grown some ovaries, man.
Oh, well, come on. We look at that as you know, being fragile as weakness, but actually it's the greatest strength. And I think that you losing your hair is actually a sign of that, you know, kind of releasing some of that tension, and being fragile is strong. Keep it up, man.
And here's the thing too. I mean, it's not like male pattern baldness coming in or anything like that. It's something that'll grow back. A couple of years ago, I had a fairly stressful time, and I had I could only grow half a mustache. Kind of like I had kind of a lopsided Hitler thing going on, you know. How'd you like that? It's pretty awesome stuff, man. But for the meantime, I'm calling it an exit wound. And today, I really did turn and face the strange in more ways than one. And the Facebook status is evidence enough. Christie can back me up on that. And just mind-blowing. Wow.
There's Tobias reading your mind again, damn it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Either that or he's stalking me on Facebook. Well,
I swear I didn't see it, but I used to have a friend that used to do it. One of my teachers used to do this to me. He'd be telling me stuff, or I'd go, well, where are you getting this? How do you know this stuff? Because it would be exactly synchronicities like that.
Yeah, and just what your ears want to hear.
And he would just tell me, he would just say, I'm just reading the teleprompter that God's putting up over here on the left. And that's literally what he would do for him. Now, it's different for all of us. He would literally have like an etheric teleprompter that would say, tell them this, say this to them. And he would just read it. And I was like, what? How do you know it? You know,
and ever since, Tobias doesn't wear a watch. He decides what time it is.
He tells us what time it is, yo.
More plagiarized Chuckisms here. Awesome.
Well, we all beg, borrow, and steal. It's all God stuff. I borrow from all my teachers and anyone and everywhere, you know? So,
well, I mean, we're borrowing from ourselves, really, you know. So
Yeah, that's right. Copyright. I love that with Osho, the teacher in India, when he first wrote his first book, you know, the book. His disciples said, well, okay, shall we copyright it to you personally, or shall we do it to the organization? Where should we do the copyright? And Osho said, no copyright. He said anyone can reprint it as much as they want. You know? And it makes so much sense because it's perfect advertising for him, if anything else, right?
Yeah.
This whole protection of legal protection of copyright and patents is just pretty... And that's what the Internet is doing. Google. You know, everyone's trying to protect their pictures on Google Images. You can't do it.
I got a question.
Take away people's radio show names.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, too. But here's a bigger question. Who owns the copyright symbol? It's the Observer.
That's great.
I like it.
But here's a secret for all the listeners. Tobias's tears cure cancer, but it's too bad he has never cried.
I'm crying right now. Of course, it feels kind of like allergies and whatever, but I'll call it crying.
Internal crying.
There we go.
Come on, Noel, I know you got one in you. Come on, haka loogie on us.
What? You want me to haka loogie?
Right now.
Oh, no, I can't. My throat's dry from being so nervous.
All right. Well, if you can't do that, then do me a favor and give that pretty little scalp of yours a nice, loving massage. And, you know, while we're all thinking about it, probably all our scalps are a little bit tense. So maybe, you know, think about releasing that. You know, just think about that and see. If you feel a little bit lighter, then, you know, that might be a clue that we are a little bit tense.
Yeah, I'd say. Just a little bit. Birthing pains.
Yeah, I'm rubbing that little scalp of yours.
We're giving birth to baby elephants. Evil one. Oh, and by the way, hi, Gemini Moon. Just had to throw that in there. In case you didn't read the big text earlier on. Okay, guys, we'll let you go. You got 25 minutes, so make it good.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Good talking to you, and get well there, Christie.
Thanks for calling, Princess. Good to hear you.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, love you. Bye.
Hey,
he is so hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Lovely. What's his name?
Noelle Man. Well, he pronounces it Noel. But it's Noel, and then in the chat, it's Noelie. So to me, it's Noelle Man. Of course, he'll kick my butt for that. It's called Noel if you're a newfie. So.
I just had a hit with Noel, because I go with Noel.
Noelle Man.
That, as you were talking about our scalps, I was feeling all this heat in my head and down my back. And I was just feeling our fevers are to be welcomed. Our fevers are to be welcomed. They are literally, obviously, heat and energy trying to do its thing to give you more awakening or cleaning.
Yeah.
Our fevers feel the difference here. Instead of fighting your fever, welcome your fever.
Mm-hmm.
In Aikido, my friend in Tokyo is like a 3rd-degree black belt in Aikido. It's basically a totally yin receptive. You know, people come at you and you just use their energy to flip them around or flip them over or throw them that way. You're not aggressive at all. You're just receiving. You're embracing and erasing. What you resist persists, and what you embrace, you erase. Such a simple saying, been around for a long time, but it's true. So receive your fever, breathe it, allow it to come out of your top of your head, allow yourself to feel it. By the way, I've worked with women, and I wish this would really start to catch fire, that menopause is the second birth for women. That heat, and that kundalini firing that you get all hyper about, ladies, is your blood, instead of draining down and out, giving it away, instead of giving it away, meaning bleeding it out, into the earth. That's beautiful, too. By the way, if you have a garden, that's really good for the garden. It turns around. That energy that's been giving, caretaking the kids, and hopefully not caretaking the husband all the time. Maybe he's a co-participator with you. Turns and says, that's enough of me giving out. I'm now going to give up. I'm giving up. I've been giving out to the point that you're almost given out, ladies. Now it's going to give up and give in and let the energy rise and come up in your kundalini, your spinal column. That's the hot flashes. That's the Holy Ghost. That's the power of the heat coming up and down your spinal column, the Ida and the Pingala. Say yes to your hot flashes. Say yes to your fevers. They're energies trying to awaken you. Yeah.
Very well said. An awesome call by Noli Man. No, it is that time, though. We will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned, Christie and Tobias, after this short break.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
News and information you can trust. This is American Freedom Radio. Freedom, American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
Maybe not. Anyway, we're back. I think we're having a little bit of technical stuff. It could be all that sickness that we're throwing around. Where did we leave off? I don't remember. And I need my muse, Christie. I still feel a little naked doing the radio stuff by myself. So yeah, welcome our fevers. Welcome. Say yes to them. If they're there already, there's a gift for it. This has been the new way that I approach things, like when I'm feeling this in my lungs this week. Just... And if you do a meditative practice or just laying in bed, if you're that knocked out with stuff, just breathe and try to not resist the energies. And you're going to find these energies coming from your body. And this is part of this. You're going to have shivers and energies flowing through your body. And in a strange way, when you're feverish, you can actually feel all these comforting energies. So say yes to the fever.
Yes, I love pain.
Dr. Payne is in the house. Dr. Payne. See, Payne is a doctor. It's not really pain. It's like in one of my videos I say P-A-I-N. You can look it up, YouTube, Tobias Lars Payne. Good church.
BDSM. Oh, sorry, wait. Wrong site.
Big, dominating, sweet mothers? Is that what that means?
I think so. Smothers.
Yeah, I like that. Got some big, delightful, soft mothers. I like that.
Soft and squishy and warm.
Stay in my little reality, yeah. No, pain. Back to pain. Dr. Pain. Dr. P-A-I-N spells an acronym. Pay attention, integrate now. Pain. It's the check engine light in your car. It really is. I know that's simplifying, and I know people with diseases are going to get really angry at us. But like Eckhart Tolle says, I agree with him. He says, if you have a disease for a long time and you're really angry at me right now, Eckhart Tolle says, and I agree with this, it's because you've become identified with the disease or check this out, I'm adding this, your battle with the disease. It's become your crusade or your part of your self-image, part of who you are.
I lived that.
Yeah.
I lived that.
And so then you have to let go of it. It's the same way mothers can't let go of their children to go to college. Because the mother is afraid, now I'm going to have to actually talk to my husband, and that's scarier than hell. Right?
Definitely.
Now Daddy and I are going to have to reevaluate our relationship. Why do you think people get divorced when the kids leave? Because you can't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Now that we found love, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
We're scared to find love. We're more addicted and more comfortable or more used to. It's like a beaten dog. They won't leave their owner. You know? And so we've been beating ourselves up for 12,500 years or longer with these diseases, with these syndromes, with our phobias, with our psychological stuff. And we're afraid of healing. We're more afraid of healing than we are just continuing in the rut we're in, for many of us. So it is scary to accept that. Okay, I'm going to feel new and different. You know, letting God in your body is a little scary. Me letting go when I'm going to have kidney stones and going, okay, reformat me. It's basically what I'm saying to God, Source, the universe, melt me and put me back together differently. That means you have to let go. That's scary. And especially when we're unconscious, we don't know, it's in our subconscious, we don't know that we're letting go of who we really are. But that's what every teacher asks us to do. You're not name and place. You're not where you were born. You're not your name. Do you think your soul right now, your current name and social security number and ID, you think that matters at all when you leave the body or when you dissolve out of this dimension? Your name is temporary, no different than the shirt you wore today. Your name is not you. Who are you without a name?
Yeah.
Feel that. Ask that. Next time you meet someone, they say, well, what's your name? I don't have a name.
Well, who are you?
Feel me. Feel my energy. You'll know who I am. Cats don't care what your name is. They feel your energy. They don't care. Well, neither do souls. Neither does God. There is only the angels and the certain tendencies that want to control and organize and catalog everything want to name things. Nature does not need names. It is vibrational frequencies. But if you are cut off from feeling vibrational frequencies, then your ego needs names, because the ego thinks when you name something, you know what it is. That is so stupid. Well, the doctor told me I had Flinkendorfer's chronic sleepy XYZ syndrome. At least I have a name for it now. That's the ego. That's the ego. It feels safe when things are named. Chronic fatigue syndrome means nothing. It means sleepy all the time syndrome. That's all it means. Tired all the time. Chronic fatigue syndrome. I'm tired all the time. They have no clue what it is.
Yeah.
So name, anyway.
It's called It's Time to Get Real and Heal Your Frickin' Shadow.
If you want that, or you can continue to remain in the landmine of mind, the landmine place of mind, and ego and fear and never feeling safe, unsafe behind all your locks, unsafe behind all your gates. You cannot outrun your fates. Unsafe. You've turned from sheeple, from people to sheeple. You bray and pray. Unsafe behind all your locks. all your security guards, all your gated communities will never bring you communion and unity. All your gated communities will only lock you in. Will never bring you communion or unity. Are we ready to feel? Is it so terrifying to feel? It is just an energy. Every feeling is just an energy. Yet men would rather run out the door, put on their uniform, become all one and the same of one uniform, and get shot in the head. Women would rather yak, 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 and never feel it really. Go deeper with your feelings, woman. Man, feel it. It is the only way. Feel it to heal it. Feel it to heal it. In it to win it. Feel it to heal it. It's the only way. There's no way around your solar plexus and your heart. They are in the center of your body, would you not say? Your heart and your solar plexus are kind of central to your body. We've tried to bypass them both, our feelings and our love, and create a civilization without feelings and love. What do? You get CNN and Fox News and the local news, which is basically robots. Are those people on the local news actually human still, or are they actually flesh bots made in Japan? I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. They're programmed. So there is no way around it. So as disease comes to you and is that flashing light, that pay attention, integrate now, pain, turn and face the strange, be with it, heal it, embrace it to erase it, let it give its message to you. It has a message for you. I had a client a number of years ago. She'd been, whole side of her body would go stiff. She'd go for physical therapy twice a week. We did one session where we went into it, faced it, felt it, talked to it, addressed the body, talked to the body. 50% of it, her doctor wanted to know what I did. Her regular doctor said, what happened? You are 50% better in your whole side of your body. All it took was one session of actually talking to the body. It's all doable. So that's what I'm going to do with my stuff tonight, and I recommend it for everybody. Thank you, Christie. Love it.
Well, thank you, Toby. I hope you all enjoyed our sick show tonight and didn't get sprayed too hard with all those yicky germs. And this is for you. And that was fun. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I hope you got something out of it. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking this might deserve a whole other show, but we will figure it out. We'll just, Anyways, let us know. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for being here. Blessings and love to you all. We will see you next time.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
You're listening to the future of talk. American Freedom Radio. This is American Freedom Radio.